Wesley,
Yeah.
now I just thought another video that we could do.
Okay.
Now we've done like favorite moments,
Mm-hmm.
and we've done like having fun making fun of
Yeah,
movies and
movies.
TV
Yeah.
shows. I just thought, why not just talk about them?
Okay.
Like, it's not scripted, it's not planned, it's just pretty much just talking about like a certain movie franchise.
Okay.
And the one that I thought of would be Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, okay.
I thought we'll just, sit back, relax, and just talk about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So, I guess the first question is what made us first got introduced to Lord of the Rings?
I think it was our father, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was our dad.
Yeah.
I think he did. I remember he did show me the DVD of Fellowship of the Ring, which was the first movie of the trilogy, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Like, to this day, like when we were making fun of it, we were like, I still love
Yeah,
this. I
still
still
love
love
it.
this movie.
Yeah.
I still love it. Like the characters, like
The scenery.
the scenery, the creatures, the costumes, the music.
Yes.
Like everything is what newer films should learn, especially Rings of Power.
Oh god.
But I think it was like Fellowship of the Ring was so good. Like I remember like the great moments, like the cave troll fight,
Yes.
the Balrog
Seeing the
scene,
Balrog for the first time.
the tentacle monster
Oh yeah,
when they were entering the cave.
Yeah.
Like the Uruk-hai versus the Fellowship, and like the hobbits trying to escape from the ring wraiths.
The Uruk-hai were in the second movie. Yeah.
Were they not?
It's weird.
Were they in the third movie as well, or were they just like defeated?
No, they were. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry
they
about
were.
that. Yeah. The first movie is where they introduced.
They were born.
Yeah,
in the
they
first
were.
one.
They created the.
And they were
Uruk-hai.
still made by Saruman in the second movie, and then
Yeah.
in the third movie they were just like worse with the orcs.
Yeah, they were just put among the ranks of orcs.
Yeah. But no, like the Fellowship of the Ring was so good. Like
Yes.
to this day, I can see why people think that is the best trilogy, where all three movies
Are just as
are just as good.
great.
'Cause every franchise always has that.
That one movie or
Like,
those two movies.
We have that three movie trilogy. For example, like Terminator. Like
The second one's always the best one.
the first two are great, but everyone can agree that Terminator 3 was when things went downhill.
Yes.
Star Wars, all of them are great, but people say that Empire Strikes Back is the one that took risks.
Yeah.
Or like people say like the Shrek movies. People say Shrek 3 is the worst one.
Yeah.
But there's two trilogies where you look at all three of the movies and all three of the movies are great, and that is Toy Story.
Toy Story. I was about to say
before
the fourth one.
before the fourth movie.
Before it didn't become a trilogy.
I mean, you could say the same argument with Kung Fu Panda, and like it was great until the fourth movie came along and just like kind of like ruined it. But Lord of the Rings is where like all three movies are just perfect.
Yes.
And like, what was your first introduction to Lord of the Rings? Like, did you?
My first introduction to Lord of the Rings was it was Return of the King. I got introduced around the time of Return of the King.
Yeah, Return of the King was a great
And
movie.
just me seeing Shelob, and I was just like, unlike most people, me and you, whenever we saw a spider, we weren't like, oh my god, that's horrifying. We were like, oh, that's cool.
We were interested in spiders.
Yeah, mostly because we saw Eight-Legged Freak, so we thought that was a good
Eight-Legged
movie.
Freak, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Harry Potter and the
Yeah.
Chamber of
Abergone,
Secrets.
Yeah.
Big ass spider.
Yeah.
My god, that was a weird movie.
Mostly for the spider. But
Yeah.
yeah, seeing Shelob and just seeing my first introduction to what were they called, Oliphants,
was
Return of the King. Even though I think they made like a little appearance.
They did make a cameo in the Two Towers.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I saw Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers.
Yes.
It was later on than I saw, like,
yeah.
Return
of the King.
Yeah. No, I saw Fellowship of the Ring and then I saw... No, I saw Fellowship of the Ring and then I saw Return of the King.
And
it was later on I saw Two Towers.
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, it was because we had the box set.
Yeah.
I think it was like when they had like the special editions.
Yeah, they were like, weren't they like they looked like books?
Yeah, they look like books.
Yeah.
Everyone is probably watching this video and saying, "I remember that."
Yeah. It was like a green one, a red one, and a blue one.
Yeah.
Don't ask me which ones were which. I don't know.
Yeah. And yeah, just Lord of the Rings is becoming one of those iconic franchises that
recently
still hold up to this day.
Yeah, recently I read on audiobook. I'm saying that because I've got it on Spotify. The books, were Fellowship.
Oh yeah, how long did it take you to finish those?
All I can say is 3 of the movies wouldn't be enough to fit in one book. They're really long. And there's a lot of stuff.
Did you say that Sherlock shows up in Two Towers?
In the Two Towers, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they took out of the movie or added in the other movies.
So the thing is, I've never read the book, so if someone says, "Oh, that never happened in the book," I'll be like, "I'm not getting involved.
Yeah.
I'm just watching it."
You know that scene where Merry and Pippin get eaten by a tree, and then Treebeard tells the tree to stop eating them. That happens in the first book, and it's actually Tom Bombadil, a character who doesn't appear in the movie, who actually stops them from eating the trees.
Yeah.
I know to you, this sounds like complete ramblings, but yeah. But yeah, the books are really, really good.
It's called an adaptation.
They're not going to get everything.
There's going to be changes, but it needs to be changes that make sense.
Yeah, for the movie.
For the movies,
Yeah.
or even if they do like a show.
And also for a book, for a book, well, me personally, you see this as well. With a book, you can read it, and every time you read it, it's like, ooh, fascinating. Oh, what's going on here? With a movie,
everything's just coming to life.
Yeah, if something doesn't happen at a specific length of time, people are gonna get bored, and that's why some stuff you have to take out of the movie. I mean, out of the book to make the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and also they're making like a new animated.
Yeah.
What was it about the people of Rohan?
Yeah. Okay. So we went to see Red 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Not that long ago.
There was a trailer for this. I didn't even know it was gonna be a movie. I just thought it was gonna be streaming on like Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
But no, it's like it takes place before, like, The Ring.
Yeah.
So it takes place.
I would say.
Was it 100 years before?
Yeah.
Or was it? It was like way before the Battle of Rohan. It was way before like The Ring and stuff.
So I would say. I may be wrong. Don't correct me if I am. I think this either it falls under the line where Sauron started ruling, or it's where Morgoth was still around. I'm not sure.
Either way, this new animated Lord of the Rings movie, the animation looks amazing. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does.
I was shocked this was going to be a movie thing.
Yeah.
The animation looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
I just wish Disney could take notes. Because think about it. Okay, I know this is a Lord of the Rings video, but seriously, Disney, you need to stop doing the same animation you've been using since the first Incredibles. No, scratch that.
First Frozen.
No, Tangled.
Yeah.
You need to bring back hand-drawn animation. You need to bring DreamWorks is pretty much kicking their asses because, like, they're testing with different animation styles.
Yeah.
And like even Netflix, I mean, like, I think Disney should take notes with Arcane, because Arcane has the most beautiful animation ever.
Yeah.
I think Disney needs to do better animation to make their movies like more beautiful,
Unique.
Yeah. But anyway, Lord of the Rings.
Back to Lord of the Rings.
Back to Lord of the Rings. That was just a quick side rant, but Lord of the Rings is like one of those franchises where you keep on rewatching and you never get bored.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just love to see the Fellowship just complete their mission to destroy the ring, and they get separated, and then you have like side missions, like Merry and Pippin meet Treebeard, and then you have like Aragorn and his team. They meet with Gandalf, and then they have to go to meet Rohan, and then they have to battle, help Gondor, and again Undead Army. Meanwhile, Merry and Pippin
are smoking weed.
Yeah.
Defeating
salted pork. I mean, that's their victory.
Yeah.
And then Frodo and Sam are just getting dirt left and right, like they're exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, and Two Towers, people say that's the best one. And I do agree, but I think all three of them are great.
Yeah.
So, people say Return of the King is great for what it does, and I think like all of them are just great.
Yeah. I'm stuck. Yeah. I know we did our favorite scenes for Lord of the Rings, but truth be told, I really struggled on that.
Yeah,
because
me too.
All the movies, I love all of them. Even the books.
Yeah. Like, all of the movies have great moments.
Yeah.
And let's talk about like what was the Lego set and what was the what was the merchandising we got? Because the toys, I remember I had a cave troll.
Yes.
We had a Shelob.
And it was like a model of the Battle of was it? Yeah, Rohan, wasn't it?
Oh no, it was the Battle of Two Towers. It was like a little mini set.
Yeah, it was like a little mini set.
Oh, it's the place that they go to take out the army of Uruk-hai. It's that place. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, Rohan.
We had a...
Yeah, Rohan, because it's close to Saruman's tower.
It's literally across the street.
I played the Lego game.
Even the Lego game.
It's literally across the street.
Yeah.
Where are we fighting, boss? There. Oh, okay.
We had a toy of Shelob.
Yes.
We had a toy of Frodo, Gollum.
Yeah, Gollum. I remember that.
And Aragorn.
He was on like a stone plaque, wasn't it? And there was like a stone that if you press it, he speaks.
Yeah, and then we had Aragorn.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Lich King and riding on his
Fell beasts, they're called. I remember when we were young, we used to call the flying creatures the Nazgul. Until we realized that Ringwraith and Nazgul were interchangeable.
I really wanted that thing because that design of a creature was
cool,
so cool. And the Lich King was my favorite villain in the Two Towers. I just thought his helmet and as far as design and that weapon.
Yeah, that mace.
I remember, like, behind the scenes, they had to change the size of it to make it even bigger. To the point that you can't lift it. And I was like, how? They had like, even more designs of the actual
helmet.
No, not the helmet, but the weapon itself.
The mace, yeah.
They had to think of, like, should it have more spikes or should it have less spikes? Like, what should it look like? Should it be round or should it just be like a...
More scary.
More scary. In the Lego sets, so, again, we had a Lego set of Shelob.
We had Shelob's cave.
And we had...
the Mines of Moria.
Which is the cave troll.
Yeah. And
we had the one with like Frodo and Gandalf, like they're about to enter Hobbiton.
Hobbiton, yeah. The Shire.
The Shire. Did we have another Lego set?
No, I think that's it.
I wish we did had more.
I wish we had more.
Yeah.
Yeah. speaking of that, this is me personally. If you guys like it, that's fine, but this is me personally. I both love and hate the Barad-dûr set. I love it because of, we finally get to see Barad-dûr and Sauron. I hate it because it took us this long to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when Legos,
That's one thing I hate and love about. I love it where they bring out new sets. It's just like, oh my god, that looks cool. But I also hate it because it's just like you could have done that when you started making those sets.
It's kind of like when what was it like? There was a Lego set of the Separatist Dreadnought.
Yes.
And I think to myself, you could have just released it when Clone Wars was.
Or the Infinity War sets. You could have released those when the movie.
See the thing is, like, I get it. They're not supposed to show spoilers, but you could at least.
You could have easily waited.
You could have just at least waited till like the year after, and then show us what the movie was going to be. So when you have like the Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
And it has like the Sandman and the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, you could have just had that the year after the movie came out.
Yeah.
But no, they just had.
They had back on Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, Lord of the Rings. Another side rant about Lego. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like the Eye of Sauron looks so cool, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Like when we went to Glasgow and we saw it in the Lego shop, we were like, oh Christ, how much was it? 400?
It was roughly 400.
Yeah. And it has like the Mouth of Sauron.
The Mouth of Sauron, the Sauron. It's got like 2 Mordor orcs, and they've got like new like armor. I believe like Merry and not Merry and Pippin.
Sam and
Frodo. I believe they've got like their the
helmets.
The orc armor, yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's a few merchandising that we had. Like we were too busy buying like Star Wars and like Doctor Who and Transformers to even focus on Lord of the Rings. But not just that, but round about the time because we had too much Lego, we were told, not buy Lego this year. So it was kind of torturous to like walk into like Toys R Us and like see the Saruman's tower, and it's just like, fuck, that looks really cool. And I like even the trailers for Lord of the Rings. I will always rewatch the first trailer for Return of the King.
Yeah.
At the end, it was the bit where we'll still give Frodo a chance, and you have that music.
Yeah.
And it's just so intense. And I'm one of those people that just rewatch trailers
for the music.
Yeah, for the music. It was the same with the Hobbits. We'll get to the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Well, we'll get to the Hobbit movies. But I remember when I saw the trailer for Battle of the Five Armies, you have that. One of the trailers for Battle of the Five Armies have that cool music, and you have that badass scene. I don't think it's in the movie, but you have Gandalf says, "How shall this end?" And you have this cool music, and I was like, "Oh, I love trailers." Sometimes trailers can be better than the movie.
Yeah.
Or sometimes trailers can lie to you. Because one minute you'll be watching the Infinity War trailer, and you have that scene when everyone runs in the jungle of Wakanda. Doesn't even show up in the movie. 2011, or was it 2012, was a big year for movies. And one of the big movies was The Hobbit. I remember seeing the first trailer for The Hobbit.
Yeah.
And it got me excited because it has been a while since there has been a Lord of the Rings movie in cinemas. So from that big long gap, you have to ask yourself, I wonder if they're going to do another Lord of the Rings film like after Return of the King, or maybe like before, like a prequel. And they did with The Hobbit. And in the trailer, you see like Bilbo like young.
Yeah.
You see like Gandalf still looking as he did in the Fellowship of the Ring.
I would say I know reality, like, people age, that's why I'm saying that I feel like in The Hobbit, Gandalf looks older.
You think so?
Yeah. I know that's, actors age, so, that's a problem, but, yeah.
Okay, then. And then, like, when the Hobbit movie came out, like, I think I love the first Hobbit movie more than the other two Hobbit movies. Because it's just so good. Like, you remember so much in the first Hobbit.
Yes, the first Hobbit was good.
You remember the scene with all the dwarves just coming to Bilbo's house, like, either one at a time, and then later on it's like they just come at the door, and then Gandalf's like, "Oh."
And they're just helping themselves to
everything,
to Bilbo's pantry and just eating all of his food.
I love it how like Bilbo has like so much fruit and vegetables, and they eat that, but when they get to Rivendell, it's like, where's the meat? Any kind of chips? But there's like vegetables.
No, I don't like green food.
I'm sure we're...
Change the tune, why don't you?
I don't like green...
I feel like I'm in a funeral.
It's like, I don't like vegetables. What if you was eating a tomato in Bilbo's house?
That's different!
Your voice just cracked.
And my voice just cracked. That's different!
One of the best scenes, it's at the end of the movie of The Hobbit, is when you have this bird flying to this mountain, and it just like it does a little tap on the rock, and it just cuts it inside the mountain. We have all this gold, and then you hear like this, like this massive snore, and then you have this one eye that looks at you. I was like, that's a great way to end.
Imagine the people who read the book, because the book was first, and then the Book of Lord of the Rings happened.
As it should, yes.
Yeah. And also, like, in The Hobbit, they had to change the whole Bilbo...
Yeah, the Gollum scene.
Yeah, the Gollum scene. Because...
Gollum would never trade his ring.
Yeah.
Because that's his precious.
So when that happens, imagine the people who read the book being like, oh, what's happening here? Is that Smaug?
Yeah.
Like, watching the movie and seeing that scene and being like, is that Smaug?
And even though I thought Smaug was looking amazing.
In my opinion, in the dragon standards, he is giant.
Yeah, the way he looked and the way he moved, like Benedict Cumberbatch did the movement, and he was having the time of his life.
Yeah.
Just moving like he did in the movie, and the way he moved and the way he talks, like this is a villain that
one dragon's all it takes.
This is a wyvern that he knows, he's smart, he's intelligent.
And that's one thing I do love about like when movies, not only when they give dragons speech, but also intelligence.
Yeah, like personality wise.
Yeah. Makes them not like brutish creatures.
I love the dragons and How to Train a Dragon, but they're not intelligent to the point that they've just like...
They're like dogs or cats.
Yeah, they're like pets. Smaug is a whole different story. Smaug is his own master.
Yeah.
I don't think he would follow Sauron.
No, he wouldn't.
Or Saruman. I don't think he would follow those guys.
No,
I think it's like
because I'm pretty sure in the movie he says... He takes whatever he wants and kills whoever he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, granted, Sauron does have a few pets. Like, he has Shelob somewhere beside the Eye of Sauron.
I love it how they described it in the books. It's just like... I don't think they explain this in the movies, but in the books they explain, like, Shelob went into that specific, like, tunnel area, and then she started, like, feasting on the orcs that went there. At the time, Sauron was just like, oh, that's cool. Hey, that's great. I'm gonna keep that there.
Keep the spider.
I'm gonna keep that there. And it's just like, but sir, she's eating all of her men. I've got more orcs.
I guess you could say she's my trapdoor spider.
I'm gonna strangle you in this video.
But no, like, Smaug would never take charge of, like, he never follows anyone's order.
Anyone, yeah.
Yeah. Smaug, that scene when he burns down the entire village in Battle of the Five Armies was so cool.
Yeah.
And then he just stops and he looks at the
The archer guy?
Yeah, the archer guy, and he's like he just like taunts him and is like, "Oh, is that your kid? How would you feel if I burn him?"
Yeah. How did?
And the thing is, like, Smaug got defeated at that point.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Smaug breaks into the castle, sleeps and hibernates in the goat for God knows how long, wakes up probably at the time when Bilbo was looking for the Arkenstone.
Yeah.
And then when he wakes up and heads out to the city, he burns the city and then he dies. Sauron had a big battle, gets his hand chopped off, and gets defeated, and he becomes an eye.
And he's got his advisor, like, near the gate.
You know, I just realized Sauron's a bit like Voldemort with the Horcruxes. Because think of it, remember, like, the Horcrux, you have the diary, the necklace, the tiara, many things. Sauron, there's the eye, there's my mouth.
No. He put all of his power in the ring. So technically that's...
The ring's my Horcrux, the mouth of Sauron's my mouth, so that counts as a Horcrux, and the eye, that counts as my eye. And my lighthouse.
Yeah. So as long as the ring's alive, he can never truly die, and that's why the eye exists.
What else is part of me? The Witch King's helmet. It looks nothing like my helmet.
No, he was just inspired. He was just...
Wait a minute.
He's the Kylo Ren to my Darth Vader.
Actually, no, I would actually compare... Okay, so Saruman is definitely Count Dooku, because they're played by the same actor.
Obviously.
I would say Wormtongue is probably like Newt Gunray.
Did that word just come out of your mouth?
Hear me out.
Comparing Grima Wormtongue to Newt Gunray.
Sauron is definitely Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kind of think about it, the Lich King is pretty much General Grievous.
Kinda, yeah.
Because they're both cool,
Yeah.
they're both intimidating. And that's it. Oh, they have a pretty intimidating way of fighting, and they've got the scary voice.
They've got the scary voice, yeah.
They got the except there's only one difference.
One's a coward.
One does not cough.
Yeah.
One does not cough in the way of Mordor.
One does not simply cough in the face of Mordor. There's a toxic fume.
Oh, I love that in the first movie. There's literally like a FaceTime meeting between the cast of Lord of the Rings, and there's a bit where Sean Bean's character keeps on looking down, like he has his arm in his face, like one does not simply walk into Mordor.
The meeting.
Yeah, the meeting. He's looking down like he's reading the script. Like one does not simply walk into Mordor.
He didn't know his lines, so he'll just look down. So whenever he was reading his lines, he just looked very disappointed.
No, he didn't say one does not suddenly walk into Mordor. Wait, did he say that?
One simply does not.
I can imagine it's like, it's a gift. He just like looks down, but like in the movies,
It's a
like
gift. Wait, no, that's not this. That's the other scene. Let us use it against him. Yada yada yada.
Sean Bean dies by the Uruk. Oh, I'm way behind. I fast forward to the end. Jesus Christ,
Oh
man.
no, wait, no, it's
Sean Bean reads
Rivendell. Here we go.
Sean Bean reads the script. I die again. Don't die. No, Sean Bean are like, it's like Cliff Jumper over again.
Honestly, it's actually quite surprising that it took them that long to kill him.
Yeah.
Because in the books, because in the comics, because in the
books it's later on, is it?
He dies literally. We see his body literally like in the beginning of the Two Towers.
Well done.
Yeah. And also, how did you feel of speaking of the Hobbit? How did you feel about the Pale Orc?
Azog,
the Defouler, yeah.
I mean, I thought he was cool, but
He was
cool, but he's pretty much very CGI, and that's one of my few problems I have with the orcs. The orcs are very CGI, and you could tell they're CGI because the Hobbit. Some of the most scenes from the Hobbit didn't look like they were on set.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're not like made in a giant scale of like a temple or just anything. I think look, even the pale orc, even though he was cool, it was pretty much like a CGI body, so he was kind of less intimidating, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
He's not like it's not like the Uruk-hai.
The Uruk-hai or the orcs.
The orcs, or even the weird ugly orc that was in the Return of the King. He had a weird arm.
He had the general guy.
The general guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like even with that, like that was makeup.
Their makeup made them look ugly, which in my opinion made them look like orcs. And Uruk-hai.
Like the orcs in the Lord of the Rings looked real because it was pretty much like the
makeup. Yeah.
It was pretty much like the cast and crew with disgusting orc and Uruk-hai makeup to make them feel like they're monsters and not like, oh, in Rings of Power, oh, I've got a family, I've got a few kids, oh, come on, my lads, let's go to the pub. And I'm like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. They're supposed to be monsters. They don't supposed to have, like... they're not supposed to have a life.
Yeah, it's not the fact that because, Tolkien did say that female orcs do exist, but because they're doing, like, the whole breeding, you don't see them in the war. They don't do the fighting. So, the problem I have isn't the whole, like, orc babies or orc females. The problem is orcs being loving and caring.
Even though orcs are supposed to be, like, let's burn down that village.
Because the last time, what were their names? Shagrat and... Gorbag, I think it was.
Gorbag sounds like a real orc
Gorbag and Shagrat, I think.
Are those the ones? Is that the ones that had that whole conversation about bread? And,
no,
let's go have some meat.
No, they were the ones that were like, they took Frodo, and it was a case of, oh, how's the war going? It's going good. Of course they would say that. Maybe when this whole thing is over, you and me and a handful of trusty other boys can go out and get some loot. Literally, the next time we see them, they're kicking lumps at one another.
Yeah.
Because of a tiny, tiny argument.
Meanwhile,
that's one thing I love about orcs.
Wait, was that in the book?
Both in the book and the movie.
In the movie, there's a bit where there's like an Uruk-hai and an orc. It's like,
that's mine.
That dress is mine. It's going to the Great Eye, along with everyone else, and it just like thumps him down the floor.
Yeah.
The scum tried to knife me! Get him! And there's like a civil war between orcs and Uruk-hai, and I'm like, who's gonna...
He just drop kicks someone out of the window.
I bet my money on the Uruk-hai.
Of course! The Uruk-hai are designed to be stronger than the orcs.
Well, think about it. Orcs are battle droids, Uruk-hai are super battle droids.
Hell.
Oh, that reminds me. Remember that?
And the ring wraiths are destroyer droids. Or droidicas, whatever the name is now.
Grievous is Magna Guards.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying? Oh yeah, like some of the orc CGI doesn't look sometimes that convincing.
Yeah.
And like the only CGI character that works in these movies is Gollum.
Gollum and Smaug.
Gollum and Smaug, yes, Gollum and Smaug. Those are the two CGI characters that actually work when it comes to CGI. They're like orcs. You need a makeup designer.
Yeah. Did you know there's actually 3 species of orc?
Well, in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, where are they?
Well, technically, if you're including Azog, I'm assuming there's like 4, because he comes from what was it?
He does look different.
Gundabad, or something like that.
I think so.
Yeah, he comes from there. But you get orcs that come from Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
You get orcs/goblins that come from Moria. Although the word orc and goblin are used interchangeably. And if you actually learn the elf language, that's very apparent. And Uruk-hai are actually orcs, but they come from, Isengard. They just call themselves orcs, just like how hobbits call themselves hobbits.
Yeah.
So they're all technically species of orcs. It's just that one species of orc is a lot stronger than the other. Yeah. And then you get the Gundabang orcs, which is what, Azog and his people were.
Yeah. I feel like the Hobbit is like the lesser, like I feel like that's never gonna beat Lord of the Rings, and it never will be.
Yes,
But
we're not saying it's
I'm not,
trash like
like,
some people.
oh,
I'm
like-
just saying it's good, but it's not gonna beat Lord of the Rings.
I feel like they've done so much better. I think they've done some stuff that were better in The Hobbit than they did in Lord of the Rings. For example, I feel like Bilbo Baggins is way better than Frodo. Apart from that, there's a how many people, how many villains, how many like stuff has Frodo killed?
It's the same with
Zero.
It's the same with the books.
It's the same with the books. Yeah, he pretty much does nothing. All he is a pigeon delivering the ring to the fires of Mount Doom. Sam is the one that's doing all the work. He's the one making all the food. Potatoes, boiling
He's
mashes.
the one that's boiling and mashing them in the stew.
He's the one that has to keep an eye on Gollum. He's the one that literally had the balls to fight against Sherlock.
Yeah, that was funny. I don't think they explain this much in the book, but in the movie, but in the book they went into detail that when the light shone brighter, Sherlock was the only emotion she felt was fear. And that's funny to me. She's fought armies of elves, right? And she's killed multiple people and multiple orcs, but the only thing that brings her fear is this really, really short guy with a magic potion and a glowing sword.
Yeah, Sting.
Yes, elf sword.
It comes to life.
But yeah, they describe her a lot more gruesome in the books. In the movie, she is pretty horrific, but in the books, it's like Jesus.
Like really ugly.
Really, yeah.
But no, Sam even goes out his way to even fight the orcs at Uruk-hai that are having a civil war in that watchtower, little scouting tower that they have, and it saves Frodo. And I think to myself, and even unusual suspect pointed out, why can't Sam just carry the ring? He's not corrupted. Sam, Frodo's corrupt as hell.
Yeah, but it was his burden. It was his burden. So Frodo had.
But who dropped the ring in Mount Doom?
We're not going through that fucking argument.
Who dropped the ring? It was Gollum because he was so happy. And he's like, yeah, I got my present. Oh shit! Falls in the lava. And I actually did like that. It slowly, it just slowly sinks. The ring just slowly sinks, and then Sauron's making that eye expression when you lose that context. Oh shit! I've fallen. Boom.
Boom. Did you actually know Sauron? Not only when he tortured him, he got the information of Shire Baggins, but did you know Sauron thought, if Gollum gets the ring, he doesn't really care.
As long as the ring's safe and not destroyed.
Yeah, because he knew that Gollum would do everything to keep the ring and keep it safe. So at that point, it's just if he does take it,
see, the thing is,
I have nothing to worry about.
He doesn't want the ring.
He both hates it and loves it. It's a curse.
He doesn't want the ring to come back to him. Because that means you have to put it in the fires of Mount Doom. But he just wants it not destroyed.
If it's to him, he gets more powerful. But if it doesn't come to him, he doesn't die. So that's good.
So there's a win-win scenario with him.
Yeah.
I think I could be wrong. Speaking of Sauron, I could be wrong, but there was supposed to be a bit where Aragorn is actually fighting against Sauron in Return of the King. But they replaced it with a random troll that literally beats the living shit out of Aragorn. So okay. I could be wrong, but there was a bit in the final battle, which, by the way, the final battle was nothing compared to the middle battle they had in the movie.
Yeah.
Let's just say the final battle just has an army of orcs. What did they have in the other battle?
Elephants.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
The Mans of Rohan, the Mans of Gondor. Yeah.
Yeah.
How crazy would it be if like the battle never ended? It's like, all right, let's bring more. It's like an army of Sherlocks that's coming towards them. No, they're all dead. Bring all the armies, and they've got like
Bring the dwarves.
They've got
wait, they're dead. Sorry.
They've got like giant rhinos. All right, they're dead. Bring more armies, and they've got like giant.
Bring the eagles.
Bring the army of clone Smogs.
Wait, what?
What? Yes, we've cloned Smog when he was hibernated.
How? Don't ask questions.
Could you imagine the battle just went more crazier? Bring in the Brontosauruses!
Like a Monty Python skit.
Bring in the T-Rexes!
Bring in the tiger!
Bring in the bears!
The what?
Meanwhile, Gandalf is smoking a pipe. He's like, I'm done with this shit for far too long.
Merry, and Pippin are just smoking.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that scene were to be real, oh, there's a Slayer. If that scene were to be real, it would be Gandalf smoking a pipe. I mean, pipe. Bleh.
He is drinking a pint.
Gandalf smoking a pipe, Merry smoking a pipe, and then just Pippin smoking a giant pipe. Or either that or dunking his face in the barrel. This went off topic, didn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go back to topic.
How funny would it be like in the battle and out of nowhere, Treebeard comes out of nowhere like, oh, I'm late. Okay, bye.
Bye. And then he just leaves. But yeah. Getting on topic of talking about the movies. What else should we talk about with that?
From Lord of the Rings then to Lord of the Rings now, how do you feel?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, well, let's talk about the games that we either played or not played.
Yes! I mean, I said...
Battle, what was the one that was a bit like Battlefront?
Yes! That one! Oh, what was it called?
Conquest? Lord of the Rings Conquest. There's a game where it's pretty much like the old Battlefront games where you choose a fraction, like you could choose an elf, a man, a dwarf, or
someone speaks in Elvish, and it just says, watch those wrist rockets.
You have a dwarf that says, that's how you do the simulation. And
like they did in the simulation.
Yeah, you pick them and you fight against...
It's like different ranks.
And you fight against, like, Trolls, the orcs, Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
The elephants.
The elephants, yeah. Were they difficult?
Yeah. They're really difficult. I had to do it one at a time, and it was, like, fucking annoying, because one kept on going to... One broke in the defense, and you're like, oh, shit, and you lost.
Yeah.
They do something similar to the Battlefront 2, where if you get more points, like, you get a countdown and you pick yes, and you can play as a hero in that map.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. I love that game.
Was it like Battlefront where could you play as the orcs or could you?
I think so. Maybe.
I've only seen you play it. I haven't played it.
Back in Dad's, it was a great game. It was just so great to play that Lord of the Rings game. And I did play. There was a game that had like both Two Towers and Return of the King.
Yeah.
But obviously you and I have played Lego games.
Yeah,
Lego game in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
Lego games were good, really
I'm still kind of shocked and weirded out that they haven't finished the proper Hobbit by giving us Battle of the Five Armies. I mean,
would you like to play through that movie again?
No, but when your game ends with Smaug destroying a city and he's not dead, yeah, maybe you should put Battle of the Five Armies as a final.
You should definitely complete the game.
Or just have the bit where you shoot an arrow at Smaug and then that's the end of the Lego game.
No, it's like the mere second the spear hits him, it just cuts to like a really fast scene of Bilbo just waddling towards his house, having the conversation where he's just like, oh, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. But it's like really, really fast. And it's just him like going into his house, close to the door, and then end credits.
No, how funny would it be if in the Lego game, like if they actually had that bit where Smaug dies in the Lego Hobbit. They don't bother with the Battle of the Five Armies. You have Smaug getting shot by an arrow, and then Bilbo's like, he's dead. And he just does like a slideshow, and he's back to his home, and he's just like relaxing.
Either that, or when Smaug dies, it just cuts to the Pale Orc looking up, and it's just like he gets killed as well. So that's that problem dealt with.
Azog and Borg, or wherever his name was, like the big tough orc that they introduced in the second Hobbit movie.
Yeah. They both get killed.
It's kind of like in the Battle of the Five Armies where the king gets killed by the floating corpse of Smaug.
Yeah.
The king's like, oh. Imagine that, but it's just replaced with Azog in the Lego game. Azog pushes the king, looks up. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to play the Shadows of Mordor. It's basically you could actually attack, and you could actually possess an orc or a troll to become one of your allies. I think that's fun. I think there's 2 of them, and I'd rather play that than the Gollum game. No joke. I saw an image of what Gollum looked like in Shadow of Mordor versus Gollum from that game. 2014, where Gollum looks like what he looks like in the movie. 2020, where it came out.
23, I think.
23, and he looks ugly.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell were they thinking with that game?
23 or 24. Actually, I think it was 24. Either way, it was recent.
Yeah, like, who cares what the day of that game?
I can't tell the difference between dates anymore. They're all the same to me now.
They're all numbers. They all have 2s.
They just realized that
it's kind of like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You're like, wait, which one? Oh shit! Yeah, I have to say Modern Warfare 2 2022. That's a lot of 2s.
Which one is this? It's the 2022 one.
Oh, I hate Modern Warfare 3. Which one? Modern Warfare 3 2023.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I hate this game. Which one? Fuck. But yeah, I
think like Lord of the Rings will still be popular, just like how Harry Potter became popular, and the same thing with Harry Potter. Like the OG trilogy of like both Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are nostalgic, they're iconic, and they have they're a great fantasy world that they have. But then you have the prequel, which is either bad or good. Like, you have The Hobbit, which the first Hobbit movie was good, but the other ones are just meh. It's the opposite with Fantastic Beasts, how I think the first movie was good, but the sequels are shit.
Yeah.
Like, bad.
I mean, those ones are good. What about these ones?
But here's the thing. I'd rather watch the Hobbit movies and Fantastic Beasts more than Rings of Power.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. Like, I feel like Rings of Power, I feel like it's the same writers that made the Halo show. Like, they knew nothing about the lore, and they're just like, let's ruin something that people liked. I think it was Disney. Anything else you want to talk about? Like, I feel like Lord of the Rings have this great cast of characters that you all know and love. And you don't, and the thing is, not a single one of them you want to die. Even Boromir, played by Sean Bean, who dies, you actually kind of feel sorry for.
Yeah, you still feel sorry
He's not an arsehole. He's just wanted to do what's right for his kingdom and also for his people.
Yeah.
But then he kind of becomes corrupt with the ring because he was easily corrupted by the ring.
Yeah.
And when he kind of almost chases Frodo, he's like, "I'm sorry, Frodo."
Yeah.
And then when he he thought he redeemed himself by saving Merry and Pippin from the Uruk-hai, and he dies from it. And I was like, you know what?
I love it how in the books, it's been a while since I've seen the movies, so I'm not sure this is in the movie, but in the books, when Pippin meets the king, Boromir's father.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He one scene that he said that I was just like, okay, that was good, is where he says he has seen the mightiest people die from one arrow. Boromir died from many.
True.
And it's just like when you think about it, it's just like he fought to the end. He fought, even though he was about to die. He was just like, no, I'm gonna take these bastards with me.
Yeah. I think I do hear the eagles. I think I do hear the eagles.
No, they're seagulls. The seagulls, not the eagles. The seagulls.
Actually, talking about the eagles, let's talk about the eagles, because that's the one thing people will say, oh, why could they just put the eagles to Mordor and get the ring destroyed? First of all, eagles are taxis.
Excuse me again, Jesus.
You okay?
Yeah, there's even a bit where Gandalf says, can you drop me off here? And the eagle's basically like, no, I'm dropping you off here. And it's just like, why is he doing that? Because it's limitation, that's why. You know how short the movie would be if it was just like, where would you like to go? To Mount Doom. Okay.
Drop the ring.
Eagles have limitations.
Yeah, they do.
And they need a moth. They
Yes.
need a Mothra to communicate with them.
Yes. And
Ever since the pound came along, things in Middle Earth have been very, very difficult.
it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Okay.
Actually, no, scratch that. It is about the destination
Yeah.
and the journey.
Although one thing I do like about the Lord of the Rings movies, that even the orcs, even they've got personality.
Yeah.
Because it's
we
like,
haven't had Maggie bread for 3 stinking days.
yeah,
why can't we have
some meat?
What about their legs? We don't need those. That's going to the Great Eye along with everything else.
Yeah, what were the names? There was Gorbag, Shagrat, Uglug, and then there was
Hut-Rud.
Hut-Rud. Oh, there
He's
was
French.
there was so much. I love it how it's just like Boromir, Frodo, Gandalf, and with the orcs it's just like Shagrat, Gorbag.
No, the thing is, and even the unusual suspect pointed out, the villains, like, they pronounce the R to make it evil. Morthak.
Morthak, Mordor,
Orc.
Baradur,
The
Balrog of Morgoth, Chris Pratt. I'm sorry. He said, I have to say, it has to complete the thing.
Morgoth.
Yeah.
Orphank.
Yeah.
Like, they pronounce the R very evil, and that's actually a great way to make you separate.
Like, what's this place?
That's actually a good idea from separating what the villains and the heroes are actually
Yeah.
are.
Especially like what I said about the orc names. You get like, even like you get Mordor, and then you get like Rohan.
So the thing is, like,
And there's like Hobbiton, and there's like and then there's Baradur.
yeah, because the heroes have calm names like Frodo, Sam,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Merry, Gandalf.
Gorbag.
The bad guys, it's more like barbaric.
Yeah,
They're just like
Saruman.
It's kind of like the heroes are like, we're like a religious people that worship, like, we are calm and peaceful race. The villains are pretty much like football players. Orcs are like,
fucking god, mate! I'll cook your head in!
Orcs are like the kind of people that's like, Eye of Sauron.
Mouth of Sauron. I like that. I'm gonna use that now. I'm pretty sure they did that in the Two Towers, when they were like hitting their chest and shit.
No, they're like, we're not no, you're not singing, you're not singing, you're not singing anymore. Oh, by the way, speaking of that bit, I love how there's an old archer just shoots the Uruk-hai. And the Uruk-hai doesn't even bother the charge, they just stare at their fallen comrade on the floor. Courtney.
Bastards! Courtney!
Just shoot the arrows. Archers are like snipers. Dwarves are like heavies.
Wasn't that in the game? Like there was like archers are like ranged, humans are like close combat, dwarves are like something. Wizards
yeah. That's actually a good point. There are pretty much like snipers. The elves. Oh, the elves! By God. So let me get this straight. You got an elf played by Orlando Bloom. What does it do? He becomes a sniper version of Tony Hawk in the Hobbit movies.
Yes.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Although one thing I do,
he was a show off in the in the Lord of the Rings.
He was.
But in the Hobbit, in the barrel scene, he's jumping through barrels, shooting orcs and like Azog's men, and he's jumping. And I'm like, what? This is awesome, but what the fuck am I watching?
It's cool, but it's unnecessary. That's the point of being a badass.
It's awesome, but it's ridiculous. There's a bit where he's up against... Was it Nick? You pronounce the name.
Legolas.
He fights against Borg in...
Yeah, because this guy can only pronounce his name as Legolas.
Look, I'm just gonna call him Link for now on.
Just call him Link.
So... Lord of the Rings Link fights against Borg, and there's this bit where the rocks slowly fall apart in this abandoned bridge, and he jumps it on like it's slow motion quick time event, and he takes out Balrog, and not Balrog, Borg. Oh, could you imagine if he took down the Balrog? Ice-proof arrow, I don't know.
Yeah, but one thing I do love about the story of...
It's the little guy. It's the little guy pretty much being a hero.
No, the one thing I absolutely love about the story of Lord of the Rings. They make it that not only because of something that happened in the past, or just because their differences, that dwarfs and elves don't like each other. And then when they were together, it's just like, I would rather die than have the ring in the hands of an elf. Never trust an elf. And then as the story goes by, Gimli and Legolas become the closest of friends.
Yeah, to the point that they're actually having a rival.
Yeah.
I
took down 32. I took down 35. Oh, look at you!
He was twitching.
He's twitching
because it got axe embedded in his nervous system. And he is such a show off because there's a bit when he takes down like Nicholas, and he's like looks, and there's an elephant coming towards him, and I'm like, okay, and he's such a show off.
That only counts as one.
Yeah, that only counts as one. Show off.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about their chemistry and their character.
Yeah.
Don't tell the elf.
Yeah, just.
Frozen.
No one tosses a dwarf.
That's one thing I love about the Lego game, is that whenever there's like a small character like a hobbit or an elf or like a dwarf, you could just pick them up and throw them.
Yeah, you actually done that.
I've actually chucked it to one of my friends, and like we went to Hobbiton, and I picked up a hobbit and I threw it at the guy, and then he picked it up and threw it back at me, and I picked it up. Imagine if like the AI had like personality and free will. Us just torturing this one hobbit.
We could do this for hours. Hours.
Many hours, much hours.
Like another thing we could talk about is the cast. Like the cast.
Oh yeah.
The cast is perfect. Like
yes.
Like there's no actor or actress that like is kind of like, you know,
that was pointless or that was unnecessary.
There's none that feels left out.
Yeah.
Everyone has a role to play. Everyone has their lines, and they develop them very great. Even that really. What's the word I'm looking for? Even that terrible king in Gondor. Even he has some like memorable like Shakespearean lines. It was really satisfying when he gets his ass kicked by Gandalf.
It's weird how in the movie you can tell he's just this corrupt evil king.
He's kind of heartbroken.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In the books, when I read the books, I felt a lot more sympathy towards him because in his perspective, he just lost one of his kids, and he's fighting in a war that, by the looks of things, the men of Rohan didn't appear, so this looked pointless.
Yeah. Ian McKellen as Gandalf, great.
Not pointless, hopeless.
Yeah.
Like all their men, what's the point of fighting because they're all gonna die? I might as well burn myself.
Ian McKellen, great as Gandalf.
Oh, absolutely.
Elijah Wood, great as Frodo. Everyone's great. Merry and Pippin are really funny.
Oh, yeah.
Sam, he's got a heart. He's got like a heart of a hero.
Even though he started off as start off as a gardener and like fighting orcs left and right.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Luke Skywalker. He was a farm boy, and then he shot the Death Star.
Yeah.
But like every casting character is great. Like there's no
even the background characters are great.
Even the background characters, like you said, like the orcs, they have personality.
The orcs have personality.
Like
even the knights, all the men.
Yeah. Like the hobbits.
The hobbits,
like the face expressions are just priceless.
Yeah, the what was it? The Longfoots and the I can't remember the names of all the Hobbit families, but you got like Tooks, Peregrines, like all Baggins, all those, and that's just scratching the surface of the other like families of hobbits, and that's just in Hobbiton because apparently there's like hobbits that live in the Shire, and there's like hobbits that live in the forest, which I think that's what Tom Bombadil was. And then you get like hobbits that live like near rivers, which I think that's what Smeagol and what was his name? Deagle? His brother.
Oh yeah.
That's what those two were meant to be. Because think about it. They have to be like the hobbits that live near the river because Gollum is so good at catching fish.
And like he mostly lives in caves.
Yeah.
Which has
what other
rivers.
way is he going to learn to catch fish that way by, apart from being a hobbit that's lived near a stream?
That is very true. That actually does happen.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else we could talk about. Like, the battle scenes are really good.
The battle scenes. I wonder how long it would take before we got to the battle scenes.
Like, the battle between, like, even the smaller battles, like the small battle between the Fellowship versus the Uruk-hai and the Fellowship of the Ring, that's great.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. You have, like, the great battles, like, you have, like, Treebeard and his trees going up against, like, the Tower of Sauron.
Isengard.
Isengard. And then you have the Man of Roha, the Man of Roha just taking out the Uruk-hai, and then there was the reinforcements that come down. And then like the battles in Return of the King, like the Battle of Gondor is just so huge. Like it is like
Tirith Mir.
It's so huge.
Minas Tirith, I think it's called. Like that white palace. You know, the one that looks like it's coming out of a mountain.
Yeah.
Minas Tirith, yeah. Even like I said, that's still one of my favorite battles because it comes from being hopeless. It's just like not that much humans versus orcs, and then the men of Rohan come in, and then the Oliphants, and then the ghosts, and then it's just seeing the scenery. Like I said when we were talking about our favorite scenes, it's such an epic battle, and it's not even the final battle.
Yeah, the final battle takes place in the
Gates of Mordor.
Yeah, and even that's got some great moments.
Yeah.
I love it how when the ring is destroyed, pretty much the land where the orcs and the Uruk-hai and like the bad guys are just break apart, except for the
good guys.
Yeah, they got a safe land. I don't know how that worked, but it worked definitely. And the battles in the Hobbits are fine. They're not great, but they're fine. The Battle of the Five Armies had some cool moments, but it's not going to beat the battle in the Lord of the Rings movies.
The Battle of Goblin Town, I wouldn't say it was just a battle.
Goblin Town had the coolest. That was the coolest scene because it was like, okay, the extended version of the scene was pretty much this Goblin King singing, which I wish they kept in the movie.
Yes.
Instead of having it like a deleted scene or extended version. I wish they kept it.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where Gandalf shows up, which by the way, how the hell did he?
Don't worry about it, he's a wizard.
He shows up
and
he shows up and he takes down and he helps the dwarves take down the goblins and the Goblin King, and the entire scene is just so cool.
Yeah.
All the dwarves are like knocking all the goblins, and even the battle scene in Desolation of Smog. The fat one comes out the war, bounces at all the orcs, comes out, spins around with his 2 axes, and I was laughing my ass off because I was like, okay, this is stupid but awesome.
Especially that one scene where they're running away from the shapeshifter.
Yeah!
And then the fat one is the fastest one.
It's kind of like that scene from Infinity War where like the Wakandans are charging, you have Black Panther and Captain America just charging like the T-1000. It was just like...
Bomber was my favorite one, mostly because every scene he's in, he's sad unless he's eating food. Oh, that's a bit excessive. You got a cheese knife? Cheese knife! He eats it by the block.
I love it how like one of the dwarves actually sees him in a seat and he's like, hey, just catch.
Hey, Bomber! Oh, and then he breaks the table.
As if they knew one more
food would just collapse everything.
Azog is shutting us down. All right, one more in the house.
One more round, friend. Oh, God. But yeah, they're great movies.
They've got some great action scenes.
Yes.
I feel like out of all the characters in the Lord of the Rings, there's a few characters I feel have a big develop for where they were from now to the end of the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
There's Sam, like you said. Sam
started off as a gardener.
He went from a farmer.
Yeah.
To being the person who picks up Frodo to destroy the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Aragorn went from a ranger to being a king.
Yes.
And he had to prove that he was worthy to be a king, not with his words, but with the sword. And I love that scene when he fights against the ghost, and it's like, it was broken, and Aragorn's like, it's been made. And it's like, it's been remade. And I was like, oh, that's such a great line.
It's been broken. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
So he had to prove that he was worthy to be king.
And like I said at the beginning, Gimli and Legolas weren't like really huge fans of each other, but then as the story went by, they became the greatest of friends.
Even Merry and Pippin have a develop in the movies.
Yeah.
Because at first you think, oh, they're just pranksters and they're just setting up fireworks that could kill people. But next minute, they become heroes. Yeah. One becomes a member of the Roha.
Yeah, he becomes...
one becomes a soldier.
Yeah, he becomes a squaller.
Yeah, one actually...
Squire.
Yeah.
One becomes a squire.
Yeah.
And then Merry becomes one of the Knights of Rohan.
Yeah. So they've developed from the first movie to the third movie.
Sorry it took me so long to spat out those words.
Trust me, most of the names are like sometimes hard to pronounce. Sometimes.
I mean, it is a fantasy world.
Like even the Hobbit movies, like
even the development of Gandalf, he went from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White.
Even the Hobbit movies, like Bilbo has a massive develop.
Yes.
From just chilling.
I'm a Baggins of Baggins.
From chilling in his house to I'm off to an adventure to fight off to a dragon and also fight off a war.
And even
he had the balls to go up against Azog's wolf.
Yeah.
When Thorin was knocked
Wogs. Yeah. And even then, like if you watch it chronologically, like The Hobbit first, and then Lord of the Rings. Just that scene where he, like, the first time we meet him, it's just like, no, I am contempt. I would like to live here. I'm a Baggins of Bag End. Like, the outside world is not for me. And then the next time you see him in Lord of the Rings, he's like, I want to see mountains again, Gandalf. Mountains!
And he tells kids a story about the three trolls that turned to stone.
Yeah.
He tells, like, the Hobbit Kings about that. And you actually do see that happen in the Hobbit movies. And it's both funny, but it's like, you actually, like, wait, are they going to get turned to stone? And they do, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I do like the little references. I think they reference the stone trolls somewhere in the Fellowship of the Ring.
They do, yeah.
I think it's when... Was it when Merry and Pippin and Sam and Frodo go past it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they... Yeah.
Yeah.
Thorin was a dwarf that I thought I was going to hate because all he did was pretty much bully, not just the dwarves, but also bully Frodo, Bilbo for being like not much of a bugler and not much like he should have been staying home away from all this. And then
it wasn't the case that he was bullying the other dwarves. It was more of a case of like keeping them in line because they were very boisterous, like people.
They were childish because I remember like
throwing food at each other.
There was one where they were having a campfire in a mountain, and it's like, what's that noise? Oh, it's probably
it's true.
Oh, it's probably orcs. And then they start laughing and Thorin.
You think that's funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do understand because his city has been destroyed by a dragon. The elves didn't do anything to help.
Yeah.
Like
they used I think it was they used to live in like Moria, and then that all got overtaken by the Pale Orcs, and then they went to like the kingdom under the mountain. And then that got overtaken by not only dragon sickness, but also Smaug. And it's like, these guys have had two homes taken away from them.
Yeah. And it was a bit where they come out of the goblin, mountain.
He took his chance and he took it.
Yeah, he pretty much...
He's been thinking about his cozy bed every time he left the Shire.
Yeah, and then Bilbo comes back and says, your home was taken, but I'm going to try and help get you back.
Yeah.
And that didn't convince him until when he gets his ass handed by Azog.
And he fights one of his wogs.
Bilbo showed up and defended him.
Yeah.
And you think, and at the end when they get dropped off by the Eagles, you think, oh, he's just going to be an arsehole for the majority of this trilogy.
I've never been more wrong.
Yeah, he's like, I've never been so much wrong in my life. And he gives Bilbo a hug. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because when I was watching in the cinema, I was like, please tell me this is not going to be the majority.
Please tell me you're not going to be one of those characters. And when he hugs him, it's just like,
and I was like, oh, thank God, a wholesome moment. And then at the end, he actually, in the Battle of the Five Armies, where he's corrupted by the Arkenstone.
Yes.
And
the dragon sickness.
Not the Arkenstone, like all that gold.
Yeah, the dragon sickness.
He actually thought that other dwarves were like false, like they were like thieves and liars, and he actually trusted Bilbo.
Yeah, and then when he gave the Arkenstone to them, it was just like there was even a scene where it was just like, oh, okay, then take him and dangle him over the thing, and it's just like, no, fine, I'll do it myself, and they're like, no, stop, don't throw him over.
Even Gandalf showed it was like, this is not the dwarf I knew. Even Bilbo says, this is not the dwarf that I knew back in Bag End.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the dragon sickness does. It just kind of corrupts him. And when Thorin finds that, realizes he is not the same, he kind of like snaps
out of it.
Snaps out of it and pretty much tells us dwarves, let's fight with our brethren. Let's fight with our brothers one last time.
Yeah.
And when he dies... When Thorin dies by Azog, that scene where Bilbo finds him in this frozen waterfall. They have that last moment together, and like I think I mentioned this in my favorite moment. The
last goodbye.
My favorite moment of the Hobbit movies was. It was that bit where Frodo leaves. No, Bilbo. Why am I getting confused with Frodo and Bilbo?
I have no idea.
Bilbo tells the dwarves, "You know where I live. Tease at this time. You're welcome to come around. Don't bother knocking." And I was like, at first, like that's a big change from the first Hobbit to the third Hobbit. Because in the first Hobbit, he didn't want dwarves. He didn't want any strangers to come in his house and start eating all his food.
Yeah.
And make a mess of his toilet and all that stuff. But then when you get to the third Hobbit, he actually welcomes them. That's his friends. They've been along for this journey, and that's their last goodbye.
Yeah, especially that scene where they go, or no, not they. Bilbo goes back to the Shire and he sees everyone's
everyone thinks he's dead.
So they steal all of his stuff, and he's just like, "Oh no, I am."
Oh yeah, they did. Okay, they knew he was alive. They just wanted to.
Yeah, they knew he was alive. They
just wanted to steal his stuff.
Yeah.
And then he gives him.
The Sackville Baggins has clearly set that whole thing up.
There's a bit when he gives one of the hobbits
his note,
like a contract, and it's like everything seems to be order. Who is this foreign Oakenshield?
And like he could have said anything. He was a warrior. He was a king. He was like all this stuff, but he said
a friend.
He was my friend.
Yeah, and there's a bit in the movie. There's a bit in the movie in Battle of the Five Armies where Thorin gives Bilbo acorn.
Yeah.
So he could plant it when he gets back to Baggins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he doesn't do it, but he does remember the acorn. And at first, when me, Jack, and Josh saw that during, I think it must have been December, when we saw that, me and Jack agreed he should have. I wish he planted that seed, and it could have been he could have grown from years.
Yeah.
I feel like that could have been a better ending, but apart from that, I thought that was a great way to end it. And say what you want about the Hobbit movies, but when they got it right, they got it right.
Yes.
And even with endings, people always argue, "Oh, the many endings in Return of the King are just so long." To me, you've paid money to go see that. You paid money to go.
You knew it was gonna be long.
You paid money to go and see a 3-hour or 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
There's gonna be an ending where it tells you what the characters are doing. Aragorn gets married and becomes king.
Yeah.
The hobbits come back to the Shire and they celebrate by drinking beer. But also, Sam actually finally gets married to the woman.
Yeah, the thing that
it just shows you the endings of these characters, and it makes sense because you can't just end it with
stop.
You can't just stop it at the Falls of Mount Doom or anything and just have the credits. No, you need to show the aftermath, and I think because people complain about the endings, and I'm like, I don't mind them because I think it's a proper. It wraps the bow perfectly.
I was about to say, the movie is the present, the ending is the bow.
Yeah, and it just comes together.
Just wrap it up there.
I
Perfect.
mean, what do you expect? It just come out of nowhere, has the word directed by Michael Bay, and it has a song by Linkin Park. What have I done? I mean, no, I feel like the endings made sense.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until you realize that, not only did Sam fall in love and have kids, and not only did Merry and Pippin get they were redeemed as heroes and they were rich and stuff like that. Because of Tolkien and because of what he experiences, it's most likely that Frodo, the person who actually went on the journey and threw the ring into Mount Doom, he would never get any reconciliation or any compensation from it.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm pretty sure, like, what was his name? In Deep Geek explained that because of, like, Tolkien's experience, he would, like, make it so everyone else, apart from the person who had the burden, would have been, like, praised as a hero. It was mostly a case of, oh, like, Sam, Merry, and Pippin, yeah, Frodo, yeah. You know what I mean?
But even though Frodo was the one that had to deliver the ring to the Fires of Mount Doom, with help with his friends, but I feel like that was kind of like, I mean, you kind of left him out.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, because Frodo went on his way to make sure the ring was his burden. Mm-hmm. Nobody else's. He didn't want anyone to risk the burden. He accepted the fate.
Yeah.
And even though it did corrupt him, because he almost became Gollum, because I think there is to the point there is almost a deleted scene where you see Frodo as Gollum. It's like a deleted scene.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene that Unusual Suspect showed, of like, there was like a flashback or like a what if. Like
when they're
I think it's like I think he sees what would happen if he failed to destroy the ring.
When he puts his face in like that water, then he sees like possible futures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was that scene in the Fellowship of the Ring when everyone just looks at him because they kind of blame Frodo for the death of Gandalf. When they get to the trees of the elves, they kind of look at him like they just think it was Frodo's fault for Gandalf.
He's getting held back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, what was it? Aragorn was holding him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even my favorite moment of the Lord of the Rings movie is like the Balrog scene.
Yes.
That's just a great moment of this wizard that you think it's gonna be like a Yoda, like he's probably gonna be speaking gibberish and not fighting, but he does fight with both as Gandalf the Great and Gandalf the White. Like Gandalf the White, he does
as Gandalf the Great and Gandalf the White and Monty Python and the Holy Grail's Black Knight. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And that was a great moment of the Balrog versus Gandalf. Mm-hmm. There's another great moment. Okay, not only is there great moments, but there's moments that were left out and they added it in the extended edition. Yes. Like I said with the Goblin King's song in the first Hobbit. Okay, I bet people were freaking confused when they saw Return of the King in cinemas, and then they arrived to the tower, and Treebird says the might of Sauron is washing away, and I'm like, isn't he not on top of the tower? Like, him and Wormtail were on top of the tower. And I was like, why did they delete that in the movie? And so, like, why can't they just leave that in the cinema, the theatrical release?
It deals with that story. And you don't want that guy running around.
Like, it actually completes that story because it actually completes the proper defeat of Saruman. Because he was pretty much the main villain in the two Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah.
He was mostly the one that was sending the orcs and the Uruk-hai to hunt down the Fellowship, mostly to find a halfling called Frodo, who had the ring. And then, like, when you have him defeated, the real villain after that is the Eye of Sauron.
Yes.
But, like, when you go to cinema and you're like...
Saruman is Shigaraki. Sauron
is all
for one.
But no, like, you go to the cinema and you watch Return of the King and you're like thinking, okay, we're gonna see the defeat of Sauron and the Saruman, and we're gonna see like the movie like aftermath of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're gonna finally see Saruman get defeated, and then we move on to the next part. But no, like in the movie when people saw it in the cinemas, like the might of Sauron is washing away, and I'm like,
what?
Is he dead already? But the extended version, he shows up, and he talks to Gandalf, and he talks about, like, do you think this ranger will ever set the foot of Gondor? And it's like, oh, the Eye has been planning his next attack. And then Wormtongue shows up, and it's kind of like, again, forced by Saruman. And then this...
the king's just like...
He used to be the man of the people of Rohan.
You used to be one of the men of Rohan, just like I have a choice, and then Saruman smacks him.
Yeah, and then after that, Arag, he gets shot by arrow, and then he gets stabbed, and then they fall. No, and then, he falls to this wheel that has spikes. And then I love it how in the behind the scenes they actually had him attached to the wheel and they had to turn it for the scene.
And then Greemer throws the Palantir? Is that what it's called? The Palantir. The magic ball.
The magic ball.
He throws it
No,
out.
it was on Saruman's sleeve.
Oh yeah.
It came out of the water and then
sorry. It's been a while.
And then they found they just took it because they think if we could use it to find information about what the eye's doing.
Yeah.
So
and then, Pippin looked into it, and apparently they say that he could have been looking anywhere, but the fact that when he opened it, he was specifically looking where Mordor was. That's why Sauron was able to see Pippin. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we said, it's a great franchise. We've got great characters.
Great characters, great story, great music.
The music.
Great scenery.
Like I can't hum it because I think we might get copyright strike. But the music in the movies are just like iconic. Like there's no music that sounds out of place or dull. Every music,
especially what was that song? Something Baggins, I can't remember. Concerning Baggins. Something like that. But the song that's for the Shire, even that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds very homey, very warm.
It's kind of Scottish.
It does sound very Scottish. It's very homey, warm, inviting, just like the Shire. The Shire is a place, grow plants, sit, relax, talk to your neighbours. It's meant to be homey. That's why the Shire was actually based off where Tolkien grew up. It's meant to be home.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No. I think we've talked
about like both the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
Like we've said, they're just a great franchise.
Yes.
And the Hobbit movies are the Hobbits are watchable.
Yeah. If we had to go on any further about talking about Lord of the Rings, I think we'd approximately say everything that everyone else have already said about Lord of the Rings.
Like everyone said that the music's great.
Music's great, scenery gorgeous.
The scenery is just amazing. Like when you see the snowy mountains and when you see forests and when you see other stuff, it just looks great. Like,
but yeah.
The creatures,
the creatures look cool.
The battles, just everything about Lord of the Rings is just so good.
Yes.
So that was us just talking about Lord of the Rings. I think, this is gonna be another
thing we're gonna be doing.
Another thing we'll be doing on like movies or like TV shows that we like.
Yeah.
And nothing much to say, but
the ring was my burden.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.